Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who We Ood, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben, and I'm here with my co-host Cam. How you doing today, Cam?
I'm doing good. I yesterday I got Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta, so I've been playing that.
How was it?
Kind of mixed on it. Like in some ways it's very faithful to the original, but then other ways I'm like I miss not being able to I miss the controls not being really great. Now it's too smooth then.
Wow.
And of course there's some changes to the visuals to make it more modern. That's like kind of remove some of the charm of it. But it's still at the end of the day, it's just Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, so I'm just devouring it. How are you doing today, Ben?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Uh, been listening to a lot of Pink Floyd,
Mm,
specifically their really early stuff
mm,
and their post Roger Waters stuff, which I
ooh,
haven't done as much of. I'm a big fan of, the Dark Side of the Moon to the final cut,
yeah.
inclusive of the wall. And
So you including Final Cut in you like the Final Cut because that's a mixed album.
yeah, I do. It's not my favorite. It's not as
Yeah,
good as the four that came before it.
yeah.
Like Dark Side of the Moon is S tier, The Wall is S tier. Every now and then I forget, and then I listen to it. But Wish You Were Here is an S tier album too.
Oh yeah. No, it's like it's you can debate that's the greatest four album run that like any band has ever done.
Yeah,
Like even the Beatles, like I would say the only one you maybe could say would be the White Album, Magical Mystery Tour, and then Abbey Road if we're talking about release date wise. But then Magical Mystery Tour is just a weird one because it's a movie album. And that's three. So then the fourth one would be Let It Be. But yeah, Magical Mystery Tour is just the weird one out in that one. Even though there's some great songs there, but it's just being a movie album is kind of weird.
but there's definitely still. I think those four and Final Cut is pretty good too. Is the best by a long shot. But there's absolutely still good stuff before and after. I think Momentary Lapse of Reason is actually pretty good. I think Piper at the Gates of Dawn is underrated, or at least I underrated it. It's got some really good stuff on it. Metal, I listened to the first time like a couple days ago,
Mm,
and especially the first and the last of that, which the last is like a 20-minute song,
mm.
is really good. But yeah, Division Bell, it has like two or three good songs.
I've tried some of the post Roger stuff with Gilmore, and it's just like I couldn't get into it personally. Like I want to really like Momentary Lapse of Reason because the bassist for that one, the guy that replaced Roger Waters on the bass is Tony 11, who is the King Crimson's bassist for the 80s period. I love Tony 11 as a bassist. But I just can't get into it.
Do you like Learning to Fly?
Nah, not even that one. That's like the big single.
Yeah, I really like it.
It's very much it's not Roger Waters Pink
No,
Floyd.
and I listened to Roger Waters solo stuff.
Yeah.
You really need both of them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
balance each other out.
But it's like the Roger is the brains and Gilmore is the soul, and they need each other. It's not like again talking about the Beatles. It's they all the four of them, well three. Sorry, Ringo. Like they all had great solo careers and like they're just great independently. They were better with each other, debatably, but like they really at the end of the day didn't really need the other Beatles. But while Roger and David did, they need each other to be at their best.
I haven't listened to just straight up David Gilmour solo stuff, but
People like that last record. I heard some good things about that.
I'm going to David Gilmour live at the Circus Maximus Rome
Mm.
next month. A lot of that stuff I'm sure I will not have heard because it's David Gilmour solo stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, but it just he's just gonna play a lot of the Pink Floyd stuff as well.
Probably.
But like sadly, like his voice, I'm kind of sad that his voice is it's a little bit gone. You can definitely hear that like he's not one of those guys that like voice aged really well. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You can kind of tell that he like I don't know if he was a smoker, but it kind of sounds like it in his voice nowadays, where it's like it's not that crystal clear voice that he had back in the day.
Well, of course.
Well, like, you like there's some artists that age better in terms of
Yeah.
vocals.
I think, yeah, you just need to take it into consideration. Like Roger Waters, he is absolutely his vocals have aged, but the kind of music he makes now works for that sound.
Yeah.
Like in Is This the Life We Really Want? That works with his deep, gruff smoker voice.
But anyways, Ben, this isn't a Pink Floyd music podcast.
No, this is a Doctor Who podcast. Today, we are talking about The Keeper of Traken, originally broadcast January 31st through February 21st, 1981, on BBC One. This was written by Johnny Byrne, who would go on to write Arc of Infinity and Warriors of the Deep.
But gotta do some production stuff in there, Ben. Supposedly, Christopher H.B. did do a lot of changes to the script, and then Johnny Byrne was upset at the changes. In the Sixth Doctor era, he has submitted that script, the original version of Keeper of Traken, to be made, and then they rejected it, and they didn't make that story. So maybe the changes were for the best.
And this was directed by John Black, who will do A Girl's Best Friend of K9 and Company,
Oh my god.
and as well as Four to Doomsday next season. Produced by John and Nathan Turner, of course. Cam, what did you think of The Keeper of Traken?
I liked it. I never seen this before. This and Legopolis were always the two that was my blind spots, but I think I must have just
You haven't seen Legopolis?
no. I think it's part of the problem was that knowing that I needed to watch both of them, I knew that I would have to buy both DVDs. And like there was like a box set of like basically I think that if I remember correctly, it was a box set of Keeper Track and Legopolis and Castarova. And I never bought that box set because of course that would be like $60-$80. So that was just always on the table. At one point I got Castrova's DVD. I don't know why. I think it was really cheap one day. But then like I never had access to it. And then once I got to streaming, I was never really that interested in it for some reason.
Have you seen Castrovalva too?
Ben, I watched it when I was a kid. I got the DVD. I watched half of it and was bored and didn't watch the rest of it. I got it on Blu-ray in the collection set. I watched half of it and was bored and didn't watch all of it. So
Wow. So the next couple will be mostly all new.
but we'll see when we get to Castrover. If I'm bored halfway through it, I want to fucking give up and tell you, Ben, I'm sorry, I can't finish Castrover. There's just something about this episode that I get to the halfway point,
Gonna cancel the podcast.
it makes me fall asleep.
Wow. But you were saying about Traken?
Yeah, I like this story. It is definitely it fits that mold of this season of just science fiction fantasy. And I think that the story does do a good job in the world building.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff here that like it sets up in the first episode or two that I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I'm following along. I want to know where this story is heading. I do think this kind of falls apart towards like part four, I would say, is I kind of lost a little bit of interest because I was like, okay, the master's TARDIS is now the keeper of Traken. Like, what the hell's going on here? How, like, if there's I didn't find that like part four's like next part of the story to that really compelling. Maybe it was just because I watched Keeper of Traken all in one day. So maybe by the time I got to that fourth part,
You binged it all today?
yes. So maybe that's part of it. But like definitely when I got to part four, I was like, I'm kind of losing interest of the story. And I just thought like the energy was kind of worn out. But that could just be a me problem and not so much the story's problem. And like the ending is kind of weird. We'll get to the ending, but the ending is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I always thought like because I knew, of course, that Nissa's dad was the master's body, and then the master took her dad's body. But I always thought it was like there was more to it than that. You know, I thought like, oh yeah, the master did like a scheme and like there was science fiction stuff happening.
No, he can just do that.
Like, it's just like, why didn't he like do this like back in Deadly Assassin times? Like, what's the gap between like for reference, Ben?
Spoil, I have seen Legopolis. I
Yeah.
watched that today. They do explain it.
But, like, also, I was just thinking about, like, Big Finish, of course, canon, not canon, who knows? They do a lot like, Jeffrey Beavers is kind of, like, at a before they started doing their own masters, because, of course, Anthony Ainley, I think, was when did Anthony Ainley die? He died in 2004, but he must have not been interested in Big Finish before he passed. So he never did Big Finish. And then, of course, Roger Delgado was dead. Not Chris Pratt, Peter Pratt. I don't know if he was alive, but so basically, Jeffrey Beavers was the default master before they started creating some of their own original masters. So he has a lot of Big Finish stories. So I don't know how much that gap in between Deadly Assassin and this is explored there. I never listened to like the Big Finish in the later part of like I think it was like to celebrate 47, 48, and 49 before Zagreus as the 50th story. I think they did not I don't think they did. They did like a celebration of they did one story that called Davros, one story called Omega, and one story called The Master. And that Master story people say is really good. So I'm very much and I very much am interested to actually listen to that now that I've watched Jeffrey Beaver's one episode of Doctor Who to see how much they explore this regeneration, this particular incarnation of the Master, which is, I suppose, is just Peter Pratt's iteration. Just
Yeah. It's still the same Decayed
yeah,
Master, just played by a different actor.
yeah.
No regeneration stuff.
But anyways, I've been talking a lot, Ben. What did you think of the episode?
I agree with a lot of your points. Pretty good. Very like a lot of season 18, really interesting world building. Traken is a well realized space. We learn a lot about their history and how things work, and it's all fascinating. I would agree that kind of towards the end it kind of falls apart a little bit. Like part 1 and 2, I think are really strong. We'll talk about Nyssa later, but I think Adric and the Doctor, just the two of them, I thought almost kind of worked. Like
Really?
the first couple minutes of part 1 where they're just talking and Adric says like I don't know what you're talking about. You make no sense. I th- I thought I kind of liked that. I thought it worked.
I don't know, like when that moment where like Adric is like, your handwriting's a little bit bad, and like the doctor snaps at him. I felt like it was genuine, like one of those times where Tom Baker's not acting and he's really like pissed off at this kid.
Oh, for sure. Tom Baker definitely.
I was scrolling through Letterbox, and there's a lot of people just being like, "God, Tom is clocked out by this point of
Yeah.
his tenure."
Even his half-assing is still pretty good though.
Yes, yes, no, I do like this is a very serious Tom Baker, like a lot of other season 18 performances, but like there's not really any humor in this performance this episode. He is just straight, and there's you can see that twinkle, not that twinkle. It's just real on apparent that Tom is just wants to get to the pub at the end of the day. But there is a charm just to be Tom being Tom. A half-assed Tom is still Tom.
Yes. And then of course the Master's here. Can we talk about the Master more first?
Sure.
So, Anthony Ainley Master, we only see for like 15 seconds. Not going to talk about him. We'll save that for next time. Jeffrey Beaver's Master. I still like what I thought with Peter Pratt's Decayed Master. He's missing a lot of the energy and like the dramatic performance that like Delgado gave to the role.
Can I just say one word, Ben?
Yes.
Think you mean the word you're looking for is gravitas. Like
Yes.
Delgado has that in spades.
Absolutely. And I think that the master is not in the story enough. Cassia is good, but it's less interesting to see her being puppeted than it is if the master was just there.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a problem with this story is that at a point, like it's really weird. Like I definitely want to talk more about that, but like since you brought it up, I think it's really weird that like the master is revealed, I think in like at the end of part two, or was it the beginning of part three? Somewhere in the middle.
It's like in during part 3, we see like his hands at the control panel of, I guess it's his TARDIS? I don't
Yeah.
know. But we don't see him turn around and face the camera, till part 3.
But, like, that's so, like, it's such a weird one as well because it's like, why reveal it before the the characters know? Is that needed?
Gotta snap in front of their face and keep the viewers interested. It's a master. Ooh.
But also, if that's the case, like, I don't know, I think that I forget I think that the one of the big things with this is that the master probably should have been in the story, like, that should have been, like, the part 2 cliffhanger, and then, like, we
Yeah.
should have had more master just overall in the story.
Not just him sitting in his TARDIS.
Because, like, again, I think we both felt it that, like, and their halfway point at 75% point, like, the story is really good those first 2 parts, but there is something that's needed to kick it up the ass in that second half, and if the master was fully in the story in that second half, that probably would have improved it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he's mostly just behind the scenes. He only really fully comes into the picture in part 4.
Yeah.
So that should have been earlier, jumping ahead to how could this story be improved. But yeah, I think Jeffrey Previous does a good job, but just need more gravitas. I wanted more of him in general. But we will see with Anthony Ainley. The other kind of big new character is Nyssa, who doesn't actually join the Doctor on his travels yet, but she is or will be a companion.
Someone right now is, like, so pissed that you spoiled that, and they're going, "What the fuck, dude?" They were not spoiled for
For 40
and
years?
then this one guy on YouTube who spoils it for them.
I'm so sorry. But this totally unnoteworthy character that we don't ever see again, Nyssa. What do you think of her?
She's just kind of there. She's fine. Like it's a performance there. You go. You would just be like, oh yeah, she's just a side character in a Doctor Who story. You're not like, oh yeah, this is a future companion we're talking about. It's not like Adric and Full Circle, where it's like, oh no, they're clearly setting up that he's going to be a companion.
Yeah, I completely agree. She's fine. She's a decent one-off side character. Nothing about her really says, "Oh, I know. She should be a permanent companion for the next 2 seasons." But I don't I mean, she's fine. She seems intelligent and empathetic. Again, spoilers. I don't know how much I'm gonna love having 2 kids on the TARDIS. I feel like 1 kid would have been plenty.
How old is Nissa? Did they say?
I mean, she's clearly a child. Like, Cassia is her stepmother.
Yeah,
She's she just height-wise and looks about as old as Adric,
yeah.
probably between 16 and 19.
But I'm very curious to see if like maybe I should have watched like the behind the scenes documentary for this one, but I'm curious to know if Nissa being a companion was that always the intention, or was that something that they were like, oh, she should be a companion?
Let me see. Originally only meant to appear in Keeper of the Traken as a supporting character.
All right, this is a great Titus Wiki production note. Matthew Waterhouse immediately liked Sarah Sutton, who's the actress who played Nissa, and recalled that he wanted to hug her. He did, and she slapped him.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I can definitely tell. I don't know if it's Adric or if it's Matthew Waterhouse, but he likes her. But yeah, are you ready for a lot more of Nyssa and her fairy dress?
Like, from what I've seen of the Nissa, I have nothing really bad to say about Nissa. She's just kind of there. Like, I think from what I've seen of the Fifth Doctor era, especially the early stuff, there is a point of like three companions is too much to be on board of the TARDIS. So I think that's going to be a common statement that we're going to say a lot throughout the rest couple of weeks.
Yeah.
As you all know of for like the first era, and that's it's just the first era and then this era, and then of course Jodie's Whittaker's era, right? Is there any other three? Oh yeah, well there was also that time where who replaces Susan again?
Vicky.
Vicky. But that's only like
There's like
that's a short amount of that's a short
that's
run.
like 3 or 4 there's like 3 or 4
Yeah,
stories between the rescue and the Jays. And then Ben, Polly, Jamie.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's different though, cause like Ian and Barbara. and Ben and Polly are kind of like one companion in two bodies.
Mm.
They only really work as a pair. So I don't know. I think a three-person TARDIS can work. I don't know if this one will, or this upcoming will.
Yeah, because you don't know Tegan yet. Well, you do know her because like we established you already seen Logopolis, but we'll see next week.
Also, we have had a three-person TARDIS.
Nope.
We did, because we had three stories with Romana, K9, and Adric.
Oh yeah.
Although sometimes K9 feels like a pet and not a
Yeah,
companion, or he's like 2.5.
a pet slash computer.
But good old Nyssa. What about Adric here? I thought, like last one, I thought was rough for him, but this one, I thought he wasn't bad. He is definitely a whiz kid, very intelligent. There wasn't that like egotistical side to him. This one where he knows everything.
I hate though that he like knows Gallifrey shit and Time Lord stuff. Like he knows like the doctor could talk to him about Tata's stuff. It's like fuck you that this kid just knows this stuff, that he's that much of a whiz kid that he's like, oh yeah, like blah 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 in the times shit. It's like, no, that's just kind of dumb.
This story and the next story, he demonstrates that he very much knows how to fly the TARDIS
Yeah.
and all the little buttons on the console do.
Which is weird because like you could imagine a storyline that maybe the doctor is training Adric to be a Time Lord or to go to Gallifrey. Like the plan is to go to Gallifrey, I guess, at the end of
Yeah,
this. But like that could have been much more of a storyline in this era of like there's something here. There's something to this kid.
interesting. But yeah, seemingly a lot happened off screen where he had a crash course of everything, or he just like instantly picks it up.
Like a baby to bathwater. I don't know. That's I don't know if that's the correct the correct
I've
metaphor.
never heard of that
Yeah,
expression.
expression. I mean, yeah. Well, that's don't throw the baby with the bathwater. But I forget what the term I was talking about. Anyways,
Like fish to water?
yeah, maybe that's the one I was thinking of. But yeah, Adric's hair. I would say I agree that he's not as annoying in this episode, but also I don't really like Adric in this episode. I'm not like, oh yeah, every single time they cut to Adric, I'm like, oh god, we're cutting back to Adric now.
Yeah. It's definitely not at the point where like all the best companions, you are equally invested in them and the doctor. If they're doing their own B plot, that B plot is just
Yeah.
as interesting as whatever the doctor is doing. This is not there yet. Maybe it won't be ever for Adric. We'll see. But yeah, I'm I'm not writing him off completely, but he has good stories and bad stories seemingly.
It's mostly just up to what the writer's interpretation of the characters.
Yeah. You can very easily interpret this character to be annoying. What did you think of Anthony Ainley's performance as Tremas?
It's weird because I have seen Anthony Ainley as the master, so I'm just kind of like, why is he not the master?
Is this a very different kind of
Oh
performance?
yeah, like his master is very campy and over the top, and this is much more of a serious performance. And yeah, it's he's fine. It's adequate for a side person in a story of Doctor Who, but nothing too much to note about. You're not like, oh my, it's not a situation like Lightfoot and Jago and Lightfoot where you're like, oh my god, these guys should be a spinoff.
Well,
What did you think of him?
yeah, he was good. He was likable, noble. I didn't desire him to die.
Yeah.
I didn't wish death upon him.
But really, honestly, I was thinking this whole episode, it's like he's going to be the Keeper of Traken, and at some point in that process is how the Master is going to become Anthony Ainley's body.
Yeah, I was waiting for that as well. And instead, at the very end of the story, I guess let's talk about it. Tremas is walking around, sees the grandfather clock, seemingly the same one from the end of Deadly Assassin. The
Yes.
master had another TARDIS.
Before this, I just wanted to also say I was also thinking, oh, like when the story just wraps up, I'm like, oh, maybe this is gonna tie back to it because remember he was like hypnotized by the master. So I was thinking, oh, it's gonna be revealed that he's still under that hypnosis, and then the master is gonna like lure him to inside the TARDIS.
Yeah.
and that's how we're gonna do this process. But
Or I thought that, oh, maybe he already made the switch, and when he says, "Oh, I'll be along shortly," that is the master already, and he's gonna be
yeah,
up to something nefarious. But no, he touches the master's TARDIS, gets like frozen in place, and the master pops out
just peekaboo.
and says, "Ooh, perfect, a new body." And he just kind of whoop, and now he's there, and he loses all his hair.
Yeah, or to like young as well.
Yes, with the iconic goatee.
And also, this is one of those versions of regeneration where he does regenerate in the outfit.
Yep.
The clothes regeneration. What side are you on for clothes regeneration or just no clothes regeneration?
Like, should the clothes change
Yeah,
when things happen?
yes, because it happens sometimes. And other time, most of the time, it doesn't. But there's some cases where the clothes do change.
I think the logical thing is to have the clothes not change.
Yes,
Like the third Doctor's regeneration, like Boiler, fourth Doctor's
yeah.
regeneration.
There's something really fun about seeing the new Doctor in the previous Doctor's outfit.
Yeah, and having him make that conscious decision, like, you know what, this outfit, this isn't me anymore. Let
Yeah.
me take a new outfit that best represents my new self. Like, even in like the first Doctor, he is a big thing with like, oh, he's taking off his ring, he's putting down his cane, he's a new man.
But like in the new series, there's a big controversy because during the when Jodie Whittaker regenerated into David Tennant, the clothes regenerated too because Russell didn't want David Tennant to wear Jodie Whittaker's clothes and have it be that be like the imagery that everyone like leaves off on.
Doesn't like 12 to 13, doesn't she wear his clothes?
Yes, but also that would be also very funny if it's the size of Jodie Whittaker to David Tennant. It's the same outfit. It's just like David Tennant's just in like I don't know what the size. I don't know what the size difference is between the two of them.
I mean, I guess I understand them not wanting the last thing they see is David Tennant cross-dressing, but, like,
Yeah, it would have been fine.
yeah, everything I see of her is very kinda unisex, like,
Yeah, she's been also very vocal that cosplay wise that it was for both sexes,
yeah,
but Russell did not like that. But anyways, Ben, back to Keeper Traken,
yeah.
where he does regenerate into new clothes, which is a shame. I would have loved in the Legopolis the master goes back to his TARDIS and like there's a whole change. There's a whole outfit like changing outfit where he's trying on new outfits. He's like, do I wear a cape this time?
Do you wanna know the spoiler for as to why he could do that?
No, no, no. I want to go in blind, Ben.
Okay, because it's ooh, it's crazy, but yeah, new master, he's back.
And spoilers, I don't know how much you saw. We're gonna be seeing a lot of them.
I I went on the TARDIS wiki, and I looked at appearances.
Yeah.
'Cause I just wanna know, like, is this like he's here for a minute, but he gets 1 to 2 stories a season going forward.
He's the master for the 80s.
Yeah. In theory, I'm fine with that. I don't think we should ever have a season 8 situation again, and I also don't wanna go 10 years without seeing him, so
Yeah. It was too long. I wish that like he should have been in Key to Time. It would have been so much dude, that should have been the rebus operation is that the at the end like the doctors finally gets the last piece, but then at the end of the day, the master is working for the Black Guardian. That's a more better story than rebus operation, Ben.
you
Sorry,
mean
Armageddon Factor. I always get those two confused.
I don't know how.
But you know what I'm saying? Would you not want that Armageddon Factor episode?
Yeah, if, the Shadow was actually the master
Yeah,
working for the Black Guardian.
that could work.
Yeah. It has been too long. We've been masterless. I really like the master, and I've been missing Delgado specifically. We'll see if Ainley uh, holds up to that candle. But yeah, what else is there to say?
Nothing really. Like we didn't talk too much about the road building, but we both did enjoy it the first two episodes. Like it is cool that we get a lot of detail about this place and this society.
Traken Union that keeps the peace and prosperity for this empire managed by the Keeper. Kind of holds that power in corporeal form.
Like very cool, like science fiction fantasy shit.
Yeah.
And, like, I think, like, a lot of stuff here in season 18, like, there's a couple of people that wrote, novels and books, and, like, I can kinda tell that, like, this is science fiction that's not it doesn't feel like TV science fiction, it does feel a little bit more like literature science fiction and fantasy, if that makes sense?
Yeah. A lot more details and world building and high concepts.
Yeah, it's much more high concept than Doctor Who was before this or even after this.
I will say one thing with part one I thought was a little odd is they have like a designated 3 or 4 minutes where the keeper sits down and says, "All right, exposition about the way that Traken
Yeah.
works," which I thought seemed a little awkward. But it was interesting.
Alright, Ben. So we already talked about it a little bit, but how would you improve this story?
I would reveal that the Melker is the master much sooner and not have it be a reveal to the audience, but a reveal to the characters. You can still have Cassia, but I would want the master to play a more active role, like break him out of that calcified shell.
No, I definitely agree. Like, it just needs a kick in the ass when we get to pod 3, and that should have been the kick in the ass.
Yeah. I think if, I mean, this is kind of maybe outside the scope, but it would have been nice if the Grove was on location instead of another set.
Did sound effects annoy you as well?
No,
Maybe it's because I was listening to headphones on, but, like, there was always in the background when they were, like, in the Grove and other locations, it was did you hear that at all in the background?
like birds. Oh, I didn't really
It
notice.
was the same generic sound just always in the background, and definitely with headphones on, I would have got so annoyed because it was a repeating high pitched noise in the background that just kept on repeating.
Wow, I did not notice that.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, it's the difference between watching it on TV and watching it at like a computer with
Yeah.
headphones. Sometimes I prefer one and sometimes I prefer the other. There are definitely times where I feel like I don't quite grasp everything because there's just that, you know, I don't hear everything perfectly
Yeah.
as much as headphones. I'm watching it in my family, so there's like distractions. But, overall, it still works.
Mm. But yeah, like the main thing is just the masters need to be involved in the story. They just need
Yeah.
to kick up the ass. So Ben, what's next?
I didn't really special effects, but there wasn't really any that were that bad or that good.
No, but I think this is a good point to point out that shout out to John Nathan Turner this season. We still have the Legopolis to go, but he's such a better producer. Like we've talked a lot about Graham Williams, but John Nathan Turner is such a better producer than Graham Williams. Like you can just tell like the sets of this episode are so much better than anything in season 17 or 16. Like they're just
Yeah,
it
it
just
really
it jumps from that point of like the previous season. It was just like, oh my god, Doctor Who looks so cheap, and now it's like, oh no, this is at the point where if the script is good, I can invest myself more easily because the production design is there. It doesn't just feel like cardboard anymore.
yeah, it's really a 180, which I think he, like, basically got a completely 100% different crew, which I guess that'll make it feel different.
Yeah, but also just somebody that's intimate in the production, being the production assistant, that he knows how to stretch a dollar.
Yeah, and it's been so much needed after the slow decline of the mid
Yeah.
70s or the late 70s, I guess it would be.
And just like a story like this, it's so much refreshing just to be like pretty serious. Not even pretty serious. It's mostly serious. There's no jokes at all. Where you compare something like season
Yeah.
17, where it's like the stakes were just not clearly established in a lot of those stories. Where something like here, like you know the stakes of the story from the get go, from like the very first scene, basically.
Yeah. Really very good. Should we talk about cliffhangers?
Yes, Ben. What's the cliffhangers?
First cliffhanger. The keeper yells evil when he spots the milker in the background, and the consoles mistakenly think he's referring to the doctor and Adric and have the guards surround him.
Shout out to this cliffhanger. This is a solid cliffhanger that like it changes the status, so it makes you go, okay, what's gonna happen to the Doctor and Adric now? Instead of it just being like a, oh my god, they're gonna get shot.
Yeah. Second one, the doctor, Adric, and Tremas are captured in the grove Cassia tells the Melkor, "It is done." And he says, "No, it is only the beginning."
Duh.
And 3, Cassia takes the throne of the Kiefer and morphs into the Melkor. And there's like TARDIS sounds.
It's good.
None of them are, I think, are awesome.
No.
Maybe the first one is good.
It's either the first one or the third one.
Yeah.
Or can we is the part 4 cliffhanger? Can we count that?
Yeah, we normally don't talk about part 4 cliffhangers because there normally isn't a cliffhanger, but this one is a change of stakes that leads right into the next story, which is a rare occurrence.
So yeah, that's the best cliffhanger of the episode.
If we include that one, that's definitely the best because holy shit, it's the master. He survived, he took over Tremas, and he's young with a goatee again.
Also, something we never talked about, and I'm very curious about is that how much was the public aware the master was coming back this episode? Because like, was this a situation where like people were watching and were like, "Holy shit, the master's back after all these years"?
That's a good question. I don't know. I does say on the wiki that he's not Jeffrey Breezers is not credited as the master until the very end. It's just credited as the Melkor. This is also interesting. The robe that Jeffrey Beavers wears is the one that was worn by Peter Pratt.
Also, I find it very funny.
But they couldn't save the mask. They just didn't make it.
Makes sense. I find it very funny that Anthony Ainley's character be called Tremas was an idea of John Nathan Turner. And Chris Richmond me thought that it did not make any sense. Why the hell is he called that?
No, like if it was the master the whole time, oh, he 100% he would call himself Tremas.
Yeah.
But having just this random guy who has no association with the master is a pretty strange coincidence.
It's again shows like the we were just talking about how good John Nathan Turner is as a producer, but also like he's not a good producer in terms of the scripts. Like he's not somebody that's like, oh yeah, he can get a good script and handle. Like if he's given a good script, he can produce a good episode of Doctor Who. He's just not somebody that like he needs a script editor to be in there with the scripts.
So Cam, how would you rate the Keeper of Traken?
Okay. This is an interesting one. I'm gonna go. I've been going recently, for the past 3 episodes, I've been going high seven. So 7.9, 7.9, and then 7.7. Is this as this I like this more than Warriors Gate. I don't like this as much as State of Decay and First Circle, so I'm gonna go 7.8. Still, I enjoyed my time with the story, but I don't think it's like I think the second half of it does bring it down a bit, but still solid. So 7.8 for me.
I'm gonna go a solid 8. I thought it was very good for an average rating of 7.9. And of course, as always, Doctor Who Magazine does a poll every
Before you get into that, God, the season is so consistent.
yes, it is. Leisure Hive and Megalos are definitely weak points, but even those are still not bad at
Yeah.
all. This is going to be a consistent story. Not as high, probably, as 12 through 14, but leaps and bounds better than anything Graham Williams.
Yeah.
But Doctor Who Magazine, polls. I don't know if I need to do this spiel every single time. It's been 70 episodes, but they do a poll every decade or so since the 90s. Most recently in 2023, Keeper of the Traken was ranked 14 out of 41. In 2014, it was ranked 15th. 2009, it was also ranked 14th. And in 1998, it was ranked 12th, which puts it right beneath the Stones of Blood and right above State of Decay. And Warriors Gate is right there also. So right in that kind of it's pretty similar to how we rate it.
In 2014, the last time I did a full poll, it ranked number 94 in between the Curse of Peladon and the Time of the Doctor.
Ooh. Where's Day of the Doctor on that list? Random question.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess say 15.
Ben, I'm gonna have you also guess again. Remember, this is the year right after the Day of the
Oh,
Doctor.
true. I'm gonna guess 4.
Ben, it was number 1.
It was number
It's
1.
not the best Doctor Who story of all time. That's the huge thing about it. But it just a lot of fandom was very high on
That
it.
that was like the peak Like, holy fucking shit.
Well, I would say it's like it's the equivalent of imagining a Spider-Man magazine running a Spider-Man poll a year or like a couple of months after Far From Home. Not Far From Home, No Way Home.
Yeah.
It's just like the Spider-Man fandom would have been like,
This is
guys,
the best Spider-Man
it's the
movie.
best Spider-Man movie. It has Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland.
True. Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy.
Or like even like imagine a couple months after Endgame, people would have been like, no, this is the best one, guys. Well, now it's like
Yeah.
people might be like, ah, no, it's not like the Winter Soldier or like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 are probably better than Endgame. Let's be honest here.
Really?
Not probably. I
I
think they
feel
are.
like Endgame has persisted. I don't know how many people go back and rewatch it at this point,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's persisted in the public consciousness as one of the best.
Yeah, it just it's I just think that one, I haven't gone back to it really at all.
I think I've seen it maybe 3 or 4
But
times.
like I think that
I like it more than Infinity War,
yeah.
I think.
I think Infinity War in hindsight has a lot of issues of it just being like it is
It's Infinity
just
War is too much.
it's a lot of just like they have to do so much in those 2.5 hours to set up Endgame of just like there's no time for characters to really like talk
Yeah.
and there's no breathing
Endgame
moments.
can go a little slower and highlight fewer characters more rather than all 60 of these guys need to have equal screen
And
time.
like at the end of the day, Infinity War really only has one character and it's Thanos. Everyone else really is just a supporting character in that movie.
But this is not a Avengers podcast. So be sure to tune in next week for the end of Tom Baker, Legopolis. After, God, has it been like a year?
Yeah, it's been a long ass time, man. I think it's probably been longer than a year when we actually get to like posting, like publishing days.
Robot, just speaking publishing wise, Robot came out October 5th. Legopolis will come out October 25th. So it'll be just over a year, which is crazy. Tom Baker was here for so long.
Yes,
And then we're just gonna blitz through 5, 6,
I
7.
know.
Yeah. So tune in next week. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.